Big win today here at home, 15-13. Stevenson wins over that bout. This was bigger than just trying to come in and break a 3-game losing streak. You also had your military appreciation game. Having family members and staff members that are service members, formerly and currently. What does that mean? How does that affect the mindset of the team coming in today? How does that impact the energy?
Honestly, we don't talk to them a great deal about the events that kind of go on around the game, like even like homecoming. Like it's to us, the focus has to be on winning the game, right? And I tell guys, and we talk about it, of course, but the day is better when we win. Like, we do our job, right? Homecoming's better when the football team wins. Military Appreciation Day is better when the football team wins. So that's kind of our job and our task. But we certainly, acknowledge and recognize the sacrifices that our families have made, obviously to defend our country and service, which is, a huge, huge, huge thank you. And I think doing this event with Dr. Iannone and the sports information folks, I think this is our second year. It's a great event. It's going to continue to grow, and I'm certainly excited about that. And I think it was a great day all around.
Yeah. Speaking of kind of that preparation going into this week, big task here coming back, wanting to put another tally in that win column. What preparation does go into today? You know you're coming home. You know you're going to have the fans behind you. What does that look like?
Anytime you get to play here, it's awesome. Like it's loud here. Like I've had to go to a double headset, and maybe that's me, trying to manage so many things. But and there are times where I have to push the headset to my ears so I can hear. So the environment here, our fans are awesome. And having an opportunity to get a tight win and kind of get back into that win column, I think here at home was huge. We've got the next two, one's on the road, tough day trip up to Albright, and then back here with, I think Eastern's the first place team in the conference. So
yeah, they are currently.
We've got some some big opportunities in front of us, and but again, we've got to get in the film tomorrow and figure out what we got to fix, and and some of the stuff we got to fix, we need antibiotics because we got strep going through, we've got the flu, we've got it all. So sprained ankles and strep throat, we'll survive.
Yeah. Speaking of just the players stepping up, pushing through, making sure that they have a good day, especially here at home. Two underclassmen. You had Noah Robinson, first year, had 5 receptions for 67 receiving yards. He led the team in both.
And a touchdown.
Yes, he had a touchdown on the day. Seth Parker didn't have a touchdown on the day, but he also had 5 receptions for 32 yards. What does it mean to you as a coach, but also just for the team morale, to have young guys come in and make impacts early and work hard to make sure they do that?
I mean, it's huge having young guys be able to do that. Your preference is always to kind of sprinkle your first year guys in. You don't want to fill them up full of pressure. You don't want to give them too many things to do, particularly this time of year because they're wearing down. High school playoff season starts this coming weekend, so they're almost in shutdown mode. But yet we still have 2, potentially 3 weeks to play, and they're tired. They haven't. Hopefully by now they figured out when to go to bed. They figured out what to eat, and feed themselves in Rockland, those kind of things. But to watch those guys stand up, and do the job that they did today is impressive. Connor Fox played his first snaps today. He's a second-year student, but had never played varsity football before. And I think he did. I think he did a good job. So Noah and Connor and. Gary Bavetta got his first start today. He's a second-year student, football player, lacrosse player. Stepping in, we had a couple offensive linemen go down last week. So and the more I sit here and think about it, the more I think about guys that were impacted. That literally, 3 weeks ago they were still on the bench. So it takes a team to win football games, and winning's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and again, great win today. And like you said, you're back on the road next week against Albright, finishing out the season against the current conference leader, Eastern. Going into the final stretch of the season, what are you really wanting to harp on? What do you really want to make sure that you guys can come together as a team and put together 2 great performances?
We talked about a pregame. You got to be tough, right? How far can you push yourself without breaking, right? And that's the thing. This time of year, football in November and December is hard. And it's challenging, and it's not everybody can do it, and so that's the message to our guys, and will continue to be our guy to our guys is we've got to be tough, and we've got to continue to take care of our bodies. We've got to continue get to bed. We've got to do all those things that are important that can lead to our success, hopefully, next Saturday.